Hi guys, it's been a while since I've come on here and I wanted to tell the YouTube about my 1 year working for Anthropologie. So I am a display coordinator for Anthropologie, and for those of you who don't know what a display coordinator is, and lots don't, because the title doesn't tell you much, I basically build and install the visual and artistic displays in the store. I don't do the merchandising side, so I don't handle clothing really, but like that tree you'll see when you walk in the front door or giant sunflowers, there is a me in almost every store that like sketches and builds and installs all of those things. And it's been a year of me working with the company. Like the day the queen died was my exactly 1 year mark. So I've done lots of fun display things for the company, and I wanted to show you guys and kind of explain what a display coordinator is, because I think that job title does a terrible job of it. So let's go. What is a display coordinator? Like I said before, they're someone who gets the concept from home office. They then sketch it out to make it fit their store and build it and install it. So what that means is I'm not coming up with the original idea that is shown in my store each season. Every DC is shown the exact same thing, that way the company is cohesive as a whole and they all build something very similar every season. I think a lot of people come into this job and they don't realize how much carpentry it can be and how much like crank it out and getting it done it is, rather than coming up with an individual creative concept or painting a giant mural. You don't have that much creative freedom, but there is like some creative freedom within each concept. You're just not coming up with original ideas. And I think a lot of people expect it to be like this manifestation of artistic freedom and showing in the store. And I feel like you can do that at a different job, but this is a large company and they want to be cohesive as a whole. So that's not realistic for them to have every individual DC in every store come up with something and not have it kind of all over the map. It's not their vibe. So just know that if you're thinking about this job and that's what you think it is, maybe it's not for you. And the website they use so that the DCs can see and reference and know how to build things is called The Loop. And we're gonna go over what the loop is, and I'm gonna put a little pip on the screen right here while I look at it in my lap, because that's easiest for me. Basically, it's your best friend. A lot of people use the loop, and it's not just for my job. So if you go to the website and you'll look at the top, there's all these acronyms. That's for everyone else who is in like leadership to look at and see and use. I'm a DC, display coordinator, that's my acronym. When you first start, there's a lot of acronyms to learn, and it's kind of hard. As a person who doesn't even like the text ones, it was probably the hardest part for me because I hate remembering them, but it's fine. So I mainly use the DC tab. I like to look at other people's tabs, and you have full power to look at everyone's tabs just because it's fun to see what everyone else is doing. But you'll notice is everyone else will be in the current season. So it's fall right now. Their theme and all of like their images will have like these beautiful fall colors, and it will be the display for the season, like close-up shots to kind of set everyone in the mood. DC's on the other hand, if you tap on theirs, it is a season ahead. So I'm working on holiday right now, even though it's fall, and I'm a lover of Halloween, and I believe that holiday stuff should not come out before Halloween. Not 1 second. Like, and the night has to finish. You're not allowed to until like 8 a.m. the next day. That is when the night is over. Because it's Halloween night. And it's not until the sun comes up the next day that it's okay for holiday to start. But anyway, you go back to the website and what you'll see is a breakdown for each DC of like your budget that you have for a month, because you go out and you buy what you need for every project in your individual store, because some stores are bigger and they'll have more projects to fill the space, and some stores are smaller, so they won't necessarily need to do as much for display. Like, they'll only need one penguin to be somewhere rather than 7 to fill a space, kind of thing. So we're gonna look at interior, and on the interior you'll see a breakdown of everything that is happening inside your store. And you'll notice there's like some really fun like Southern Lights penguins, the Ice Palace, and then there's some carpentry with fixtures that you're building. So a platform and then hanging fixtures for your store. Again, the not so artistic, more carpentry side of things. I like making them because I love having clean lines and clean cuts, and you finish it and you're just like, this is so clean. It's perfect. That's why I like my job. I love a clean cut. But we're gonna tap on the penguins, and you look at the penguins. When you open the page, they'll give you a picture of like, this is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished, and then you scroll down and it's like every science lab you've had to do throughout high school. You read the lab before you do the lab. Let me say it again. Read the lab and basically memorize it before you do the lab. Except it's for art now, and things I actually like, and I'm not growing E. coli in a dish. They give you a breakdown of everything you need to know for the project. So big idea to kind of get you the feel of like where it's going in your store too. As you get closer and closer to when things are supposed to be installed, they'll give you more in-depth information. So when the season first flips and you're like, hey, I just finished fall, now we're going into Christmas holiday, they're not going to give you everything at once. That way people don't feel overwhelmed. That's my guess as to why they do it. Who knows? It's probably because they're also still working on like, hey, we're fine-tuning things. And then they'll give you overview of colors and how they want it treated, the quantity. There's different size stores again, so they'll need different amounts of everything per store. I only need 5 interior penguins because the window penguins are being painted differently, so you also have to pay attention to that. They'll have the same shape, but maybe they're painted differently because the window and inside will be different. And then they'll give you a cost. Like I said, you go shopping for each store of how much it should cost, estimates, and then they give you a time frame. And I think this is an amazing breakdown, especially as an artist, because we weren't really taught how to price our things in school. So this is how much just for materials cost to build 5 penguins is going to be on top of what I'm being paid hourly to work this job. And this isn't even my original idea. So I think you like take this and you're like, it takes me this much for materials, this much time, and I'm paid this much hourly. And if it was my own original idea, I think you would add more to that. So it kind of is a great way as an artist to like judge, this is what I should be doing and charging people for my stuff. So I really like that. They'll give you materials that you need to go out and buy, and then tools you'll be using throughout the project and safety tips. Wear your glasses, kids, it's important, just like in science lab. Wow. And then they'll take you through, and it's step by step, I kid you not. So these penguins were sent to us laser cut out. They're showing you how to, and which slot goes where every step of the way. You build that penguin, you stuff him full of tissues, you wrap him in tape, you put spackle on him to make him all smooth, and then you paint him, and then you paint him a pretty color. And then you're done. But they do give you very much step by step. And if you go and you look at like the trim fixtures, they'll tell you like how much wood you need to buy and the cuts and the angles that you need. And they'll also do this visual where they'll break down a 4x8 for you so that you're using as much of the wood as you can, the smartest way that you can, which is very helpful in the long run. And it shows you like where you need to glue supports and drill supports. But that's the breakdown of basically what you do, and that's for every project. So every one of those pictures you saw has the science lab breakdown of how to do it. I love it. I think it's super fun to like create and see and do things, and I've learned so many different like techniques and kind of like what you can get away with, because hanging stuff up, I was always nervous about that before. I've hung so much marketing and so many things from the ceiling. I am very confident now in like what kind of toggle bolts and all those things, whereas before I was probably like being over safe with my stuff, which is better than just being like, oh yeah, that should hold. So I feel better about that. These are some of the other things I did through the seasons. We started with fall, which I think is still one of my favorite displays I ever made. And my store, it was a brand new store when I came in. So I opened with a huge opening team and a whole bunch of DCs all came on the store at once to help build things and get it done in time. The merchandising, visual, I was trying to say visual manager. Yeah, that's good. They were working at the same time as us, so there were so many people in the store, like construction workers, like still finishing things. It was chaos, but it was fun because you got to meet a whole bunch of people. A lot of stores, like, you won't be the first DC in the store. So I got full control of my art room and how to set it up. And I forgot to tell you, get an art room. You get all the tools. You go, I went and I bought all those tools from Home Depot, and it was a lengthy, like 3-page little Excel sheet list of tools I needed to buy. So I have all the trinkets and gadgets. You ever think of a project and you're like, I wish I had that tool? I have all of them. Can I borrow them? I don't know. Probably not. I haven't had the need to because I have my own tools, but like, I have all the tools I could dream of there, and have like a nice little workshop that I get. It's in the back of the house. So I'm usually like, I'll be in my store and everyone's like, I never see you when I walk in. I'm like, because I'm working in the back. I'm not going to be like sawing stuff on the floor. I know some DCs have to do that because their workroom is too small, but I lucked out. Mine is a pretty good size. Fall was beautiful. I got to work on it with this amazing display coordinator named Chelsea, and she showed me, like, I was a little overwhelmed when I first got here, so I was like, and I think they were like, do you know how to use tools? And I was like, I know how to use tools. There's a lot of people, and we're still kind of in COVID, so everyone's face is covered, and I'm supposed to memorize your faces and names. Yeah, it was fine. But fall was beautiful. These like sea rings of like these leaves, and they blew in the wind and they were stunning. Love them. People would come and just stand in the doorway of our store and stare, and we're like, that's really cool that you love this so much, but you need to not block the entrance. That's how much people liked them. That's how much I liked them. I was like, I want to stare. I was really sad when they came down, but because we didn't use the leaves again, I got to bring them home, and I'm thinking of a place that I can like hang them in my house that would look cool. Yeah. The next season was winter, and we kept those same sea rings, and I hung these like garland-esque with these giant ornaments from them. It wasn't my favorite. It glowed. I don't know if you can tell from the picture. It was really pretty. Wrapping those stinking lights in that yarn took forever. I felt like that was 99% of the project, was wrapping those bloody lights. It's fine. The next season, spring, we did these clover things, and it was so cute. I loved them so much. Like the Kelly green was so bright and happy, and I thought they looked really good. People, for some reason though, sat on this one a lot. They like literally sat down on the clover. So I had to fix them. I would go and check them every day to make sure they weren't smushed because people would sit down on it. What? I don't know, I was just baffled. I was baffled. And then after that was our sunflower display, and I loved these. This one is my favorite. They were so bright and happy and gigantic. Just looking at them, I was like, yeah, this brings joy. And then I was able to install them at the Boys and Girls Club because it wasn't a display piece that we would reuse again. So at the end of a season, when we take stuff down, there's the option to store it and save it for next season, donate it, or throw it away. Donations, if it's someone that walks in and is like, I want that, we're like, cool, here's a form. Here are some charities that we like. You make a donation because they can't technically buy it. So we tell them, make a donation, whatever you feel is correct for this piece, and then once they do that and give us the form, we give them the display and they have to sign, like, I know if I hurt myself after taking it out of the store, it's my fault. That way they can't come back and get people, or things get tossed. Like sometimes after a season, because people choose to sit on them, they're so damaged that it's just... So if it's a nonprofit though, they don't have to make a monetary donation. I can just give it to them. So I reached out to the Boys and Girls Club and was like, yo, you want this? And they were like, hell yeah. So I went and installed it there, and that was really exciting. And yeah, I think fall was this giant tree and it was whimsical forest. So I tore up all these books. I read the book Crush. It was terrible. I shredded that piece of crap and used it to make leaves. It was great. Highly recommend tearing books up that are bad. Yeah, and we also have this thing that if the headquarters really likes your displays, then you get featured in like this share ring that they have, and I've gotten featured, I think 4 out of the 5 seasons I've been here. So I'm really cool. I build, cause I'm fast, I build stuff for other stores. So I've had a peacock, and that was their favorite peacock in the company. I was like, yeah, I built that thing. Someone else like finished it up and did the final touches, but I built that peacock, Kevin. And fall display I did was in a window and my sunflower display. So it was exciting. I was excited about that. I might have said 4 out of 5. I think it was 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 4. I only did 4 seasons. Winter, fall, spring, summer. We're going into winter. I've been here 4 seasons. I've been here a year. Duh. 3 out of 4. And guess what? Now I'm going to home office and I'm going to build one of the prototypes. So that instruction list, I'm going to be part of the team that like does it first. And I'm very excited because that's a big deal. So I love my job. Other art I've done outside, I did like a throwback video over my Echo Wire piece. That went viral. That was crazy. Like 5 million. That's a lot. But my legs hurt from sitting crisscross applesauce. But that's my year at Anthropologie. If you have any other questions, let me know. I really enjoy my job. I think it's fun. I would love to stay with the company, but I want to be the person who's in charge of making the ideas. So I don't know whose job that is, but I'm coming for you. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. I'm not a frequent flyer when it comes to posting things. And I always say I'll be better, but you know, it is what it is. Thanks for watching.